Unveiling the hidden power of sacred morning prayers. A journey to divine protection. I never expected a single dream to change everything. But that morning, in the soft light of dawn, I awoke trembling. A dark shape loomed over me, whispering secrets I couldn't quite grasp. My heart raced, echoing like thunder in a silent room. Was it fear? Or something else, something calling me closer? I sat upright, the chill of my bedroom air wrapping around me like a shroud. Outside, the world was still and quiet, yet I felt a vibration in my bones. The trees swayed as if sharing an ancient truth, their leaves shimmering in the gentle breeze. I was drawn to the window, peering into the ethereal glow of the early morning. It felt alive, electric. Could the universe truly be reaching for me? I closed my eyes, searching for answers. The sun's warmth kissed my skin through the glass. In my mind, I saw a circle of light, a protective energy pulsing with each beat of my heart. I remembered the old woman who had whispered about morning prayers. They were said to hold power, to shield the soul from darkness. She always spoke of them like sacred rites, a key to seeing the unseen. But where was the proof? My thoughts spun in chaos. I longed for that divine connection, for a sign that I was on the right path. Shadows loomed on the edges of my vision. I could feel them, something lurking in silence, waiting for me to unravel the mystery woven into my dreams. What if my fear was just a fragment of something greater? I stepped back, feeling the pull of the unseen. There were whispered stories of others who transformed their lives with these prayers, lives liberated from tragedy, from the jaws of despair. But could such simple words really hold that power? Or were they just echoes in the air, empty and alone? As I breathed deeply, grounding myself in the moment, a sudden gust of wind rattled the window. I shot my eyes open. The world outside had transformed. Colors brightened, shadows danced, and for a fleeting second, everything felt aligned. There it was again, the sensation of being watched. Was it fate? Or perhaps something darker, ready to collect what I might uncover? I felt a knot in my stomach, fear and excitement intertwining in a strange embrace. The uncertainty consumed me. What was I meant to discover? Was I really ready to unveil the hidden power around me and embrace the journey ahead? Just then, a flicker of movement caught my eye. A glowing orb of light flashed by, racing into the woods where the dawn's glow faded into shadows. My breath caught in my throat. I needed to know what it meant. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The woods beckoned me, shrouded in a veil of morning mist. Driven by an unseen force, I stepped into the silence that enveloped the trees. Each step felt deliberate, as if the earth itself was guiding my feet, drawing me deeper into its embrace. Sunlight filtered through the canopy above, forming ethereal patterns on the ground, illuminating the path ahead like a breadcrumb trail leading toward a hidden truth. As I ventured further, the gentle rustling of leaves became a symphony, an ode to the spirit of the forest. I could almost hear whispers woven into the rustle, pieces of a grand conversation, happening just out of reach. The air grew thick with a sense of anticipation, filled with the unseen possibilities that lay ahead. It was as if the forest was alive, watching me, waiting for me to unlock the secret it had held for ages. Suddenly, a flash of that glowing orb flitted past my eyes again, this time hovering just above a cluster of wildflowers. I froze, captivated by its luminescent dance. The flowers swayed as if bowing to an ancient decree, welcoming this enigmatic visitor. My heart raced as I took a tentative step closer. With a thrill for discovery coursing through me, I reached out into the radiant light, but it vanished, leaving behind a chilling ripple in the air. In that instant, I was struck by an overwhelming urge to kneel and touch the earth. As I pressed my palm against the cool, damp soil, a rush of energy surged through me. Memories flooded back, moments of joy, torment, and everything in between coalesced into a single tapestry of existence. The dreams, the whispers, and the shadows all made sense. They were pieces of me, fragments longing to be integrated that I closed my eyes, inviting a rush of visions. Each breath became a bridge between realms, and I began to see. Shapes and colors melded, forming layers of reality I hadn't known existed. A sense of connection swelled within me, not just to the earth, but to the fabric of all living things. A realization settled deep in my bones. Perhaps the prayers would reveal the beauty that stitches our narratives together, the invisible threads of protection and love. Yet, as soon as this epiphany took root, doubt rushed in. Were these glimpses real, or mere illusions? Did I possess the strength to embrace what was being offered? I lingered in that moment of uncertainty, hovering between acceptance and fear. The shadows loomed once again, darker and more palpable. What would be asked of me if I chose to dive deeper into this journey? I remembered the old woman's words that the power of morning prayers would connect me to the deepest aspects of my soul. But was I truly prepared for the tumult that lay beneath the surface? The darkness wasn't just there to frighten, it was a truth waiting to be acknowledged. Just then, the wind shifted abruptly, scattering a shower of petals around me, awakening my resolve. Maybe my fears were not to be fought, but to be woven into my understanding. I stood up, shaking off the lingering heaviness, and felt a gentle pull deep within me, away from the fear. Could the intertwining of fear and love reveal a path to understanding and protection? My gaze flickered to the path snaking deeper into the heart of the woods. It called to me a portal between the visible and invisible realms. What awaited me down that path? Could it be the revelations I sought? With determination swelling in my chest, I took another step forward, wondering if I would encounter another messenger, another reminder of the sacred power surrounding my journey. Perhaps prayer was not just a shield. It was also a mirror, reflecting the trials I would face as I moved toward unity with my deepest self. As I ventured farther into the grove, a profound question emerged in my thoughts. What boundaries would I break, and what truths would I find woven into the fabric of my existence as I sought the light beyond the shadows? The path twisted like a serpent, inviting me deeper with every deliberate step. A golden light broke through the trees, illuminating a clearing ahead, where soft grass carpeted the ground, and vibrant wildflowers adorned the borders. As I stepped into the open space, a sense of calm washed over me. The air felt different here, charged with energy as if spirits danced through the very molecules surrounding me. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches stretching skyward like a supplicant reaching for the heavens. Knowing I had unearthed an important marker on my journey, I carefully approached, each footfall feeling sacred. Instinctively, I placed my hand on the rough bark. The texture resonated with memories, whispers of gratitude, prayers of the past, and the pain of forgotten stories. With a deep breath, I closed my eyes once more and listened. The world around me faded, and in its place came a chorus of voices, echoing through time. Words of ancient prayers spilled into my consciousness, each one a thread in humanity's shared quest for solace and connection. They spoke of hope and despair, of curses and blessings, forming a fabric that bonded us to each other and the earth. As the cacophony swirled, I felt my heart synchronize with the rhythm of the forest. Opening my eyes, I caught sight of a small, silver feather drifting lazily in the sunlight. It floated down slowly, landing gently on the earth before me. Intrigued, I knelt to examine it closer, brushing my fingertips against its delicate surface. Suddenly, a sense of clarity washed over me. The feather was more than just a remnant of a bird's flight. It was a sign of protection, a reminder that I was watched over, that divine forces circled closely around me. Could it be that these sacred prayers woven into the fabric of the cosmos were as tangible as this feather? I pondered if the prayers were not merely requests to a distant deity, but acts of trust. A dialogue echoing through the valleys of existence. My inquiries were met with a soft rustle in the leaves, a gentle sigh exhaled by the forest itself, as if to affirm the depth of my understanding. Yet the question lingered: if prayers possessed this power of connection, then what did it mean for my own voice within this tapestry? Had I truly initiated this dialogue with the unseen? Or was this journey more about listening than speaking? The flutter of anxiety brushed against me again. The fear of inadequacy. Would my prayers hold the same strength as those who came before me? Would I be equipped to articulate the raw essence of my spirit, stripped bare for the universe to hear? Determined to explore this uncertainty, I considered the nature of courage. Was it merely the absence of fear, or perhaps its embrace? The wind danced around me once more, wrapping me in playful energy, urging me toward the ancient oak. Perhaps my journey wasn't solely about uncovering the mysteries of existence, but also about confronting my own vulnerabilities with authenticity. Taking a step back and looking into the sky, I traced the patterns of the clouds drifting above, envisioning what they might represent. Each one carried a potential narrative, a reminder of the kaleidoscope of experiences that defined life. What stories waited to be claimed within me? As I stood in the clearing, cocooned in light and shadow, a kernel of wisdom began to sprout. The heart of my prayers could mingle with the truths I carried. Did I dare to intertwine my fears with the sacred songs of the universe? Was this the key to not only understanding my own experiences, but also embracing the complexities of being human? With renewed resolve, I inwardly pledged to honor both the whispers thought lost in prayer and the shadows that clung stubbornly to my heart. It was time to step forward into the unknown once again, allowing each moment to teach me about unity, courage, and the sacred realm of connection. As I turned to leave the clearing, another question stirred within me, gilded in curiosity. What narratives would emerge as I continued to uncover the deeper connection between my own soul and the divine threads that bound us all together? The path paved itself anew beneath my feet as I journeyed away from the ancient oak, each step resonating with the pulsating energy of the forest. As I walked, a soft mist began to envelop the ground, rising slowly like secrets rising from the ancient earth. The air shifted, ripe with the scent of damp earth and blooming life, urging me onwards. Ahead, a trickling stream revealed itself, its waters shimmering like liquid crystal, reflecting the sky above in intricate patterns. I approached the bank, entranced by the play of light and shadow across the water's surface. Here, it seemed, the universe whispered a different language, a flow of truths hidden beneath the gentle rippling. Kneeling at the edge of the stream, I traced the water's movement with my fingers. Each ripple felt like a heartbeat, a pulse carrying the stories of all those who had stood here before, grounding me in the present yet connecting me to what was ancient and profound. As my fingertips touched the cool water, a surprising vision enveloped me. I saw faces emerging familiar, yet strange. Some bore the weight of sorrow, while others glimmered with joy. It was a tapestry of human emotion, an acknowledgement of our intertwined destinies. What was it about this water that held such power? I felt a yearning to understand the transformative nature of elements in our lives. The flow of the stream mirrored the continuous currents of emotion that defined our experiences. Could it be that every prayer I offered was akin to a droplet merging into this mighty river of humanity? Each intention, an integral part of a sacred journey towards healing and connection. While these reflections coursed through me, a subtle vibration emanated from the stream, calling my attention deeper. Beyond the gentle babbling of the water, I began to hear echoes of the pasta, harmonious blend of whispered incantations, ancient rhythms, and sorrowful laments layered one upon the other. The resonance felt both daunting and exquisite, as if I was being invited to amplify my journey by aligning my voice with the symphony of existence. I averted my gaze from the water briefly, scanning the surroundings for a sign of affirmation. Just then, an egret swooped down, landing gracefully on a nearby rock, its white feathers gleaming in the sunlight. It stood still, poised in a moment of divine serenity, a beacon of tranquility amidst the dynamic energies swirling around me. I felt its presence as a gentle reminder that clarity arises when we embrace stillness. Is this what it means to pray? I mused aloud, my voice soft, almost swallowed by the gentle sounds of the water. To embody stillness and let the songs of our souls rise and merge into a greater symphony. The egret tilted its head, a gesture that felt almost conversational. As its intense gaze locked onto mine, I was filled with an overwhelming sense of protection. It encouraged me to step forward, to not shy away from my own narrative, and to realize that vulnerability interwoven with courage is profound strength. I pondered if I, too, could embrace this stillness. Perhaps it was here that my essence could be molded into the expressions I sought to offer the universe. Continuing my journey along the banks of the stream, I felt the ethereal threads of inspiration wrap around me like a warm blanket. Each step brought new questions, new revelations. Was courage simply navigating these depths of emotion? Could all beings be guardians of one another's truth, protecting the vulnerable voices that ventured to surface? As afternoon light filtered through the canopy, the stream began to widen, its melody shifting to a stronger cadence. I could sense that a threshold lay ahead, an invitation to confront whatever awaited on the other side. Every part of me fluttered with anticipation and uncertainty. What would I discover as I waded deeper into this flow of prayers, stories, and emotions? Were there sacred teachings waiting just beyond my reach, lurking in the deeper waters, ready to illuminate the paths I might still traverse? With a heart full of wonder and a spirit eager to unravel these mysteries, I stepped onward, the journey unfolding, spiraling outwards, each moment pregnant with possibility and revelation. Only time would tell what awaited within the confluence of my past, present, and the divine currents of universal connection. The water continued to beckon me forward, each sound whispering secrets born from centuries past. I waded into the stream, feeling the current swirl around my legs like an embrace. The sensation was both startling and invigorating, as though I had crossed into another realm, a liminal space where past and present were entangled within the flow. With each step deeper into the stream, I turned my attention inward, reflecting on the significance of this sacred act. What would it mean to fully immerse myself in waters that could wash away my fears and connect me to the essence of life? Could it be that these gentle ripples were urging me to shed layers of doubt and self-judgment, calling forth a purification of my spirit? The rhythmic splashing of the water became a mantra, each droplet echoing the intonations of my soul. I closed my eyes, allowing the vibrations to penetrate my being, absorbing the energies of everything that had flowed through this stream, a lineage of life and emotion. And in that trembling moment of stillness, I sensed a flicker of light, something beyond the physical, a guide illuminating what I could not see. When I opened my eyes, the world seemed transformed. The stream shimmered with a luminosity that felt alive, dancing with colors I had never perceived before. The egret had moved to a higher perch, watching with an intensity that felt both watchful and wise. It seemed to sense that an awakening was unfolding within me, a moment of synchronicity as old as the stars. Suddenly, the air thickened, and a breeze rustled the branches overhead, carrying with it the scent of wildflowers and an undercurrent of something deeper. It felt like a presence had entered, a guardian spirit drawn to the light of my intention. I turned my gaze upstream, and there emerged a magnificent waterfall cascading down from an unseen height, its roar an invitation laden with promise. Was this the culmination of my journey thus far? I was drawn irresistibly closer, as if the forces of nature conspired to pull me to the precipice of understanding. As I approached, I noticed something strange, a series of flat stones arranged in a path leading up to the waterfall. Each stone bore inscriptions that glimmered under the sun, almost like ancient inscriptions waiting to be deciphered. I knelt down, tracing the symbols with my fingers, and instantly, images filled my mind, visions of people standing at the banks of this sacred waterfall, offering prayers of gratitude, fear, and hope. I realized these stones were not merely markers. They were vessels of collective intention, each holding the weight of voices lifted in devotion. Did I ask this what it means to step into the unknown? I reflected aloud. To offer my own prayers, to surrender my burdens and allow my heart to align with the pulse of the universe. In that moment, the roar of the waterfall seemed to still, giving way to a profound silence. As if in response to my question, an eagle soared above the tumultuous waters, its wings outstretched, gliding effortlessly between realms. The sight filled me with awe, serving as a reminder that the journey does not merely reside in the physical but in the expanse of possibility that exists when one holds a vision. I took a deep breath, the air thick with potential. Each step I took along the stone path felt imbued with purpose, a call to declare my own truth amidst this sacred gathering of voices. As I arrived at the foot of the waterfall, I could feel the mist enveloping me, washing away the tension I had held so tightly. Looking up at the cascading water, I felt as if I were on the verge of an epiphany, a convergence of my desires, fears, and hopes that begged to be set free like the water flowing around me. Yet just as clarity began to emerge, a question flickered to the forefront of my mind, entwined with uncertainty. Would this surrender lead to protection, or would it expose a vulnerability that I had yet to confront? Perhaps that was the nature of true strength, to stand resolute at this juncture, embracing the sanctity of both the questions and the unknown. With a heart that pulsed with possibility, I opened myself to the flow, considering what profound transformations awaited me on the other side of this silken curtain of water. As the mist danced around me, I pondered whether every prayer offered at the waterfall would resonate as a guiding light, illuminating not just my sacred path, but the paths of those who ventured before and after me. The velvety mist wrapped around me like a guardian's embrace, each droplet gleaming with a promise. The waterfall loomed above, a monument to creation and destruction, its power held in delicate balance. I took a tentative step closer, the ground beneath my feet slick with the residue of ages past. Here, at the threshold of transformation, the air buzzed with unfathomable energy, as if every element conspired to draw forth my innermost truths. Above the roar of the water, I heard the distant echoes of laughter, a vibrant, haunting melody that danced at the edges of my consciousness. It was woven with the memories of those who had come before me, individuals whose cries of hope and despair mingled with the very essence of this place. The laughter grew louder, transforming into a chant that resonated within my spirit, urging me to engage more deeply with the unseen forces of this realm. Can a prayer carry the essence of those who've walked this path? I pondered aloud into the shifting winds. Kneeling again, I closed my eyes and inhaled the potent scents swirling around, meth sweetness of wildflowers entwined with the freshness of flowing water. With each breath, I felt myself merging with the rhythm of the waterfall, heart and mind aligning with the countless offerings made in this sacred space. In the silence between my thoughts, I listened closely, waiting for a response from the universe. And then it came, a soft yet insistent whisper, barely audible over the cascade of water. Listen to the echoes of your heart. They resonate far beyond these shores. Something stirred within me, a familiar yet elusive sensation. Memories flashed by, recalling moments of doubt and fear, the times I hesitated, seconds when my voice faltered, and dreams unsung. Yet in those fleeting memories was an ember, glowing with unfulfilled potential. It beckoned me to lean in more closely, to recognize that my own prayers were not solitary, but part of an intricate tapestry of intentions spun through time. Opening my eyes and gazing at the water's surface, I saw shapes and colors blooming within the flow, a myriad of emotions converging and dissolving, illustrating the dynamic nature of existence itself. I understood that this journey was not merely for me. It was an invitation for all souls to engage in the sacred practice of prayer, to connect, heal, and embody the light we sought. As I contemplated this revelation, I felt a change stir in the atmosphere. A soft breeze rustled through the trees overhead, carrying with it a sense of urgency. Suddenly, I noticed the eagle again, now gliding closer and lower, circling above me as if recognizing the depth of my awakening. I felt an inexplicable connection to this magnificent creature, a conduit between the earthly and ethereal realms. This guardian of the skies resonated with the struggles and triumphs that echoed in my heart. Is it true, then? I asked, feeling the weight of my question pressing upon the air. Does the act of prayer grant us wings to soar above our challenges? The eagle spiraled higher, lifting with grace above the waterfall, and in its ascent, I glimpsed something magnificent, the sunlight breaking through the clouds. The light refracted in a cascade of colors, painting the water in hues of gold and azure. In that moment, I sensed a depth of wisdom within my spirit, an understanding that revealed itself not as an answer, but as a broadening of consciousness. I turned my gaze back to the waterfall, realizing it was not merely a physical barrier, but a realization of my internal struggles and desires. Closing my eyes once more, I conjured the words of my heart, a litany of gratitude, fear, longing, and hope flowing into the space created by the rippling waters. I could feel the stones under my fingers emerge as vibrational conduits, my prayers intertwining with those engraved upon them, a harmony of souls connecting through the essence of creation itself. Yet as I offered my heart freely to the flow, an unsettling thought crept in like a shadow. What if surrendering these offerings meant confronting the deepest recesses of my own fears? Would I be ready to face the truths that the waters would reveal? The answers eluded me, still floating just out of reach like golden leaves riding the currents. But I felt the questions cradling me, inviting me to explore further. Could confronting my shadows grant me the protection I sought? Would vulnerability become my strength? With a newfound sense of purpose, I made a vow, a commitment to navigate the waters of my spirit with courage and sincerity, to embrace each ebb and flow, and trust that the journey ahead would lead not only to my own enlightenment, but perhaps to a greater understanding shared amongst all. Reflections cast within the sacred waters. As the mist enveloped me once more, I whispered into the depths of the waterfall, what lies beyond this surrender? The gentle caress of the damp air deepened as I stood before the waterfall, feeling my heart pulsate in rhythm with the thundering cascade. Each beat resonated as I contemplated the nature of my journey, the intertwining threads of faith, fear, and discovery weaving an intricate pattern within me. The whispers of the waterfall beckoned, and I knew I was on the cusp of something profound, a revelation waiting just beneath the surface of my consciousness. Stepping back from the roar, I became acutely aware of the world around me. The forest, rich with life, surrounded me, and vivid colors painted the landscape in tones of green and gold. Each leaf shimmered as if kissed by an unseen hand, and I could hear the delicate hum of nature, the rustling of small creatures in the underbrush, the distant call of birds following their own sacred rhythms. In this moment, I felt a compelling pull, a beckoning from the unseen threads that connected all living beings. In search of direction, I wandered farther into the thicket, where the sound of the waterfall faded behind me, replaced by the fragile song of the breeze through the branches. With each step, I surrendered my expectations, allowing my instincts to guide my path. The journey was becoming an unraveling of layers. I was shedding the weight of preconceived notions and daily distractions. Suddenly, the sun broke through the cloud cover, illuminating a small clearing where a circle of stones rose around a humble wooden altar. Each rock resonated with a unique energy, speaking to me of the nurturing presence of ancestors and spirits who had gathered here long before my time. Tentatively, I approached the altar, noticing a small offering bowl set upon it, filled with remnants of past prayers, dried flowers, tiny feathers, and polished stones that glistened in the sunlight. I knelt down, overwhelmed by the sacred essence imbued within this space. Here, I felt the convergence of intentions, hopes, and dreams, echoing in the silence that hung like a shroud around the clearing. "What do you seek?" A voice materialized, soft yet firm, emanating from the heart of the woods. I turned slowly, feeling the air shift as a figure emerged from the shadows. A woman, dressed in flowing earth tones, stood beneath a gnarled oak tree, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of the cosmos. "To seek answers," I stammered, unsure of how to convey the storm of questions swirling within me. "I want to understand my fears, the shadows that linger at the edges of my soul." The woman studied me, a smile creeping across her face as if she had known me for lifetimes. "The shadows are part of you, dear one, your hidden teachers. But to learn from them, you must first invite them into your heart." Her words struck me like thunder, and I felt the weight of their truth resonating through my core. "But what if they overwhelm me? What if I cannot bear their presence?" "Ah, but therein lies the lesson," she replied, stepping closer, her voice a melodic echo. "We often flee from what we fear, not knowing that within that darkness lies the essence of our strength. Will you embrace your fears and hold them as you would a child lost in the night?" I closed my eyes, letting her words wash over me. The image of the eagle soared in my mind, symbolizing the freedom that comes from confronting the tumult within. Is vulnerability my true power? I wondered aloud, the question swirling into the open air. "Vulnerability is an open gate," she affirmed, inviting love, healing, and transformation to enter. "Until you show up entire, lie in all your light and shadow, you may never know the depth of your spirit's capability." With a deep breath, I allowed myself to feel the building tension within me. The anxiety and uncertainty I carried felt like stones in my heart, heavy and cold. I envisioned the act of surrender, of laying down these burdens at the altar, the offering taking the shape of my fears, raw and unvarnished. "That I will come to know them," I promised, the conviction growing within. "I will embrace who I am, fully and without reservation." "Very good," the woman nodded, a knowing gleam in her eyes. "But remember, dear one, this is just the beginning of your journey. The quest to unveil the hidden power within is not a destination, but a process, a testament to the sacred prayer you weave daily with your existence. She gestured toward the altar and the vibrant stones within. It is here that you can leave your offerings, a symbol of your commitment to explore, to engage, and to rise fortified from the shadows. Stepping toward the altar, I began to gently place stones in the bowl, each one representing a burden I was ready to release, a longing to be seen, a fear of disappointment, a voice stifled by doubt. As I offered them up, I felt lighter, the heaviness of my spirit beginning to lift. Yet, as I completed my offering, a new question flickered to life within me. How do I know when I've truly embraced them? How will I recognize the sign that I'm on the right path? The woman's gaze lingered on me, her features softened by the sunlight. Signs are the whispers of your heart. It will know when you've surrendered. Trust that your spirit will guide you, that through your prayers, you will find clarity. The sacred dialogue with the universe will reveal itself in unexpected ways. That I watched as she stepped back into the shadows, her luminescence fading into the embrace of the trees. The breeze rustled the leaves overhead, and I felt a rush of energy course through my veins. With resolve igniting my heart, I turned back to the waterfall where the rhythm of life surged, echoing in my soul. As I listened closely, I began to perceive the beckoning of a new understanding. The reflection came back to me, an invitation to delve deeper into my experience and explore the union between my prayer and my shadow. And within that sacred space, I breathed in a question that would linger long into the dusk. What does it mean to truly embrace the light, if not the shadows that define it? With the weight of my recent revelations still fresh in my heart, I began my ascent back through the thicket, branches brushing against my skin like gentle reminders of my promise to myself. Each step felt deliberate, a subtle dance between intention and allowing, as if the forest conspired to show me what lay beyond the next bend. I could hear the whispers of my fears as I navigated deeper echoes of doubt or perhaps shadows of wisdom, urging me forward. After a while, I came upon a narrow path illuminated by the morning sun filtering through the canopy. It twisted and turned like the winding thoughts in my mind, inviting me to explore yet another facet of my journey. As I walked, I sensed an invisible thread of connection weaving through the landscape, one that pulled at my spirit, drawing me closer to a revelation I could not yet define. Suddenly, a flicker of color caught my eye. I paused, kneeling to examine a cluster of wildflowers bursting through the ground, their petals stretching joyfully toward the light. As I gently brushed my fingers over their soft surfaces, it dawned on me that these flowers had thrived amidst the darkness of the forest floor, reflecting resilience and beauty born from adversity. With this thought, my reflection deepened. Perhaps my own shadows could yield beauty as well. Beyond the patch of flowers, I discovered a small, ancient stone structure, half embedded in the earth, as if nature had attempted to reclaim it. Intrigued, I stepped closer, tracing my finger along its weathered surface. The stones hummed with energy, old memories sealed within them, and I could almost hear stories of those who had stood here before me seeking connection, clarity, and solace in the arms of the divine. With the sun climbing higher, I closed my eyes and placed a hand against the stone, an instinctive offering of my spirit. I felt a sudden rush of warmth and understood the call for communion with something greater than my individual quest. It wasn't just about me. It was about the collective experience of all beings unified by the search for meaning. In that instant, I felt a pulse, a heartbeat in sync with the rhythm of the earth. As I opened my eyes, I noticed an unexpected figure emerge from the shadows of the trees. An elderly man, his face lined with wisdom and kindness, approached with a slow, deliberate gait. His eyes sparkled beneath a mass of silver hair, and as he drew near, I could feel the grounding presence that emanated from him. Every stone tells a story, every flower a dream, he began, his voice a soothing melody that wrapped around me. You stand at the cusp of transformation, child. The stones bear witness to our struggles and triumphs. They know the essence of your journey because they have known many such travelers. My heart raced as I absorbed his words, realizing that this man was a guide in a world where guides had existed long before me. Do you believe my fears can lead to strength? I inquired with cautious hope. He nodded, his expression one of warmth and understanding. Fears are simply the unsung teachers of our existence. Like the stones you touch, They bear the wisdom of the earth, the history of those who have walked before. Find strength in embracing them, for only then can you truly bloom. His gaze drifted toward the sky, as if searching for words from realms beyond. Each daybreak is a sacred prayer, a call to action that asks you to engage with your whole being. Morning is not merely a time of day. It is an invitation to embody your truth and connect with the divine. How will you start this morning? I pondered deeply, feeling the weight of his question settle within the chamber of my heart. What would it mean to awaken each morning with intent, approaching it as a form of prayer and offering to the universe? The idea shimmered with promise, presenting me with visions of how each moment could be crafted into a sacred dialogue. What would I choose to manifest today? Would I, too, rise above the underbrush of fears and doubts, like the wildflowers I had admired? In those contemplative seconds, the old man seemed to read my thoughts. Remember, dear one, while light may be your destination, shadows dance beside you. They fashion the landscape of your spirit. Will you honor them, or will you shy away? As he turned to walk away, his figure fading like a whisper amidst the trees, a new question ignited within me. If each morning was truly a sacred prayer, how could I orchestrate my day to harmonize with my soul's deepest longings? And so, I left the stone structure with the echoes of his wisdom reverberating in my heart, craving to explore how to infuse each heartbeat with intention and purpose. What does it mean to approach each new dawn as an opportunity to transform the ephemeral into the sacred? As I continued down the narrow path forged by flickering sunlight, a new determination filled my being. The morning air was crisp, infused with the sweet scent of damp earth and blooming wildflowers. Each breath felt like a communion with the divine, reminding me that every second mattered and could be imbued with intention. Suddenly, the earthy aroma was replaced by an unexpected sweetness that wafted through the air, beckoning me further along the trail. I couldn't help but follow the intoxicating scent, my feet moving almost instinctively. Soon, I emerged into a glade, awash in vibrant colors, a sanctuary where wild blossoms danced and swayed in the gentle breeze, their petals glistening like jewels in the bright light that in the center stood a magnificent tree, its gnarled trunk twisted with the stories of countless seasons. I recognized it as an elder of the forest, a wise sentinel bearing witness to the passage of time. Its branches stretched high, inviting the sky to embrace their reach, while its roots delved deep into the earth, anchoring it against the storms. It was as if this tree embodied the duality of existence, the struggle and the surrender. Overcome with a sense of reverence, I approached. A sudden urge to lay my hand against its bark filled me, an instinct that felt both necessary and sacred. As I connected, a jolt of energy coursed through me, grounding my spirit while simultaneously igniting it with an otherworldly spark. In that moment, I could hear a whisper emanating from the ancient trunk, words not formed but felt, surging like a tide through my veins. Accepting the invitation of the tree's silent message, I closed my eyes once more. Images flashed across my mind, visions of those who had come before me, often seeking solace, shelter, and strength. The stories lived in the tree, entwined with its very fibers. I felt the weight of collective histories, a tapestry woven from pain and joy that connected all beings, blurring the lines between the individual and the universe. That a sudden rustle pulled me from my reverie. Emerging from behind the great tree was a woman, her presence fierce yet nurturing, akin to the essence of the forest itself. Her hair cascaded around her shoulders like vines, and there was an unmistakable energy radiating from her being. She regarded me with a knowing gaze, as if she had seen the very depths of my soul. Do you understand what it means to commune with the earth? She asked, her words resonating deep within me. To honor your fears as you would love? It is a sacred dance, much like the breeze that bends each flower without breaking it. That I nodded slowly, yearning for her guidance. I've been grappling with how to transform fear into strength, to embrace the shadows rather than shying away. Fears are your companions on this journey, she replied, stepping closer. In recognizing their lessons, you create space for courage. But know this: it is not just your fears that hold power. The dawn is a canvas, waiting for your art. In your sacred morning prayers, infuse your healing, your gratitude, your deepest longings. It is an act of creation, of invoking protection, love and clarity. Her words hung in the air, and I felt a flicker of understanding ignite within me. If morning was, indeed, a sacred prayer, could I also weave my fears into my daily intentions, transforming them into the very fabric of my prayers? What might unfold if I dared to embrace both light and dark, both hope and doubt? As I began to find clarity, the woman glanced towards the horizon, where the sun hung low, casting an ethereal glow across the trembling foliage. The light reveals, but it is also in the shadows where you will discover parts of yourself yet unseen. Can you accept that all of the fears, the dreams, the doubts are part of your sacred journey? Her gaze held me, and I felt deeply compelled to ask, what awaits beyond acceptance? How can I step into my power without carrying the weight of what I fear? With a slight smile, she stepped back toward the embrace of the ancient tree. Remember, child, it is only within the questions that you will find your way. The journey is not linear. It is a spiral, leading you ever deeper into the core of your being. Trust that your journey holds the answers you seek, but for now, perhaps your prayer today is simply to inquire. She melded into the trees, her presence felt but no longer seen, leaving me with vibrant questions swirling in my mind. I stood amidst the blossoming embrace of the glade, my heart racing with excitement and trepidation. As I pondered the entwined lessons of the tree, the woman, and the wildflowers, I realized that I stood at the edge of uncharted territory within myself. What if the act of embracing both my shadows and my light was my truest form of prayer? How might my morning intentions ripple through my day, awakening the sacred in the mundane? With these reflections settling in my spirit, I took a deep breath, prepared to step forward with purpose. What if today's exploration could illuminate the path to my own sacred awakening? As dawn broke the next morning, painting the world in hues of gold and lavender, I felt a flicker of anticipation coursing through me. I rose earlier than usual, determined to honor the wisdom that had been imparted to me. The journey I had begun was not just a quest for understanding, but a celebration of every fragment of my being, both light and shadow. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of dew-kissed earth and the soft rustling of leaves. I stepped outside, embracing the warmth of the sun rising over the horizon, illuminating my path with its gentle caress. A sense of gratitude enveloped me as I realized that this day would be different, steeped in purpose. Today, I would finally weave my being into prayer. I found myself standing in a small clearing, the place where I had first encountered the old man, the wise guide with the eyes of the universe. Kneeling amidst the wildflowers, I focused on my breathing, feeling the pulse of life around me. With each exhale, I released the weight of my fears, the fears that had once loomed over me like shadows, heavy and ominous. Today, they would be acknowledged and transformed into light. Today, I choose to embrace all that I am. I whispered into the morning air, my voice tremulous yet resolute. I welcome my fears as teachers, as guides illuminating the lessons hidden within the darkness I once avoided. As I whispered my intention, something shifted in the air around me. A soft breeze danced through the tall grass, carrying my words deeper into the soul of the earth. I envisioned my prayers unfolding like petals, opening to the light, vibrant and alive. Each word became a melody, resonating with the universal rhythm that connected us all. With every breath I took, I infused my intentions into the sacred Morninga tapestry of hope, healing, protection, and love. I pray for clarity to navigate the paths yet unseen, courage to confront the fears that rise within, and the wisdom to honor both my shadow and light. May I find strength in vulnerability, and may my heart remain open to all possibilities. Suddenly, I felt a stirring, a gentle warmth against my cheek, like a familiar embrace. I opened my eyes to find a flurry of butterflies fluttering around me, their delicate wings shimmering in the sunlight. In that moment, I realized they were messengers of the universe, affirming the transformation I had just invoked. Tears filled my eyes as an overwhelming sense of peace settled into my bones. It was as if the universe was reaffirming my journey, whispering that every prayer rendered in sincerity echoed through the cosmos, striking vibrant chords within the tapestry of existence. In that sacred space, I felt the weight of the world lift from my shoulders, replaced by the intoxicating joy of being Olivia, reminder that life itself was a prayer, a continual offering to the divine. Each moment, filled with beauty and compassion, was a testament to resilience and creation. It dawned on me that I was never truly alone. I was part of something much greater, a symphony woven from countless souls, each resonating in their unique way. With a new outlook and an open heart, I rose from my knees, ready to engage in this dance of existence. My journey had led me to this very point, a recognition that the shadows and fears were intertwined with the light of my true self, both essential for my spiritual awakening. That as I began to walk home, I could hear echoes of laughter dancing in the wind. The earth beneath my feet felt alive. The trees swayed as if in agreement with my newfound understanding. The ancient spirits of the woods were with me, guiding me towards a future rich with possibility. That it was in that moment of revelation that I understood the sacred power of prayer was not just in the asking but in the surrender and acceptance of all that is. I was a conduit for love, protection, and wisdom, a living testament to the intricate dance of existence. Today marked a new chapter, one where I would embrace both the beauty and the chaos of life, awakening each morning with open arms and a heart ready to engage with the divine mystery that lay ahead. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, its rays spilled across the land like liquid gold. I uttered one final prayer, a whisper carried on the gentle breeze. In every breath and every heartbeat, may I find the courage to soar, knowing that in the intertwining of my light and shadow, I am home.